Bit Boys.
You guys want to start it?
I want to be able to breathe properly.
I feel like everyone.
Well, I don't know if any of us can help you with that.
I mean, you could suck the shit out of my ass or remove the food from my mouth like a mama bird.
Well, on that
Don't you have,
note,
like,
hey everybody,
tuberculosis or
welcome to
I can't help you with that.
a bit of everything.
Oh, hey.
This is our podcast. This is actually going to be episode number 1, just because we've recorded 2 other episodes, but we just feel like this one should be number 1.
Wow, way to disclose our private
I'm about to say, because I'm pretty sure we did like 5 of these actually.
Yeah, the first one, it was yeah. But welcome to a bit of everything. We're the Bit Boys. I'm Doug.
I'm Sammy.
I am interrupting Sam and being frank.
Don't ever do that again.
The pause. You want to do it again? All right, okay, ready?
Okay.
Welcome to a bit of everything.
Do it again.
I'm
Do it
Doug.
again. I'm Sammy.
And I want Sam to suck the shit out of my ass. I'm Frank.
In this podcast, we talk about a bit of everything. We talk about everything and anything. If you don't know, now you know. Sucker. I wasn't going to say it. I promise I wasn't going to say it.
I was like, don't.
But you can also check us out at youtube.com/bitboys. This is our gaming channel where we play a ton of video games, and I get very angry. Frank gets semi-angy. That's a word.
I do get semi-angy.
And Sammy gets... Sammy. He tends to...
Angy sounds like...
Love everything.
Angy sounds like you walk into... instead of Outback, it's Outback Juniors. So everything is really childish.
Super Outback Juniors.
Super Outback Juniors. I want a 6-ounce Angie steak with the mashed taters, and
Could you make it well done with ketchup?
Wow, that's how they come standard. Super Outback Weenie Hut Juniors.
Would you like anything else with that? Yeah, sweet potatoes. No.
Could you give me a blooming onion, but with no onion?
Just the fried stuff.
Oh, just bread.
The fry. Yeah, but like fry it and put the fucking spice shit all over it.
Spice it the fuck up.
Very good choice, sir.
This is going well.
I love how it went from being a kid's place to just a bunch of like 20-year-old California girls. Let me just get that fucking spice. Make sure I get like 9 mimosas, please.
Speaking of restaurants, what's the first place you're going to go back when the world is open again?
I don't even know. All of them at once.
Restaurants, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Pick one.
I guess
Come
it
on.
would have to be like a good restaurant and not like a fast foodie place, right? Because like there's ordering going on, right?
Yeah, you can take home shit.
I think maybe Annie Ramen.
Awesome. Okay.
Annie Ramen sounds like a good choice. They've got this brisket ramen that they do.
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. In Jersey City, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Miso ramen's also really good.
Yeah. Yes, it is. I told you guys before about this a spot that I want you to go to called Blackbeard Ramen that a buddy of mine showed me to, which was fantastic. To answer my own question, I'm going to go the complete opposite spectrum. I'm going to go say
I'm going to stay home.
Diner. I'm going to stay home. Yeah, I want to go to a diner like with you guys in like a nice little area.
Yeah.
Watch all the idiots.
Dude.
Yes.
Tops. But you only can only go like Tuesday night, because if not, you're not getting
Isn't
a
it
table.
like official? Yeah. Isn't it like official best diner in like America?
I think so.
It's one of the top 10, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fucking.
Yo.
No, me and Joe went there for breakfast one day. Somehow we got in. Well, that's because we went during the week. Again, never go for the weekends because you're never going to fucking get a table. Dude, their fucking pineapple mango smoothie fucked me in the ass and then called me the next day. And I was like, we're married. I'm pregnant.
I could use some of that.
Dude, it has
Do the
strawberry
PB&J.
shits in it. Like strawberry, like whatever on the sides. Mango, pineapple, fruit shoved on top. Like I felt like I was in Hawaii. It was
Wow.
Bang! I got it, and Jill was like, "Oh, that looks pretty good." At first, when I got it, she made fun of me, but then when I got it, she was like, "That actually looks good." And I took a sip and I fucking preed that like
Wow.
to the point where like they
Where did
brought
you
a mop.
conclude?
Bro, I concluded when I hit the bottom of that cup, pregnant with 5 pineapples. Then fucking Jill
Wow.
took a sip. She was like, "I gotta get one," and she got one to go.
That's how you gotta do it. I forget if it's a milkshake or a smoothie. I think it's a milkshake, but it's called like the lunchbox,
Ooh.
and it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich type
Yeah.
shake, where
Oh,
it's like grape or strawberry jam, peanut butter in a milkshake.
Oh.
They make some delicious stuff, man. I love that. And the fact that I somehow moved closer to it, never knew about it beforehand, and now it's like in my backyard. It's like the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Fantastic.
what I think is funny? This might be dated, but screw it. Podcasts are dated. It's the 3rd of May right now, and I think yesterday the New Jersey governor allowed parks and golf courses to be open,
Dumb.
which is the stupidest fucking thing. And
Dumb.
and it's like as soon as it got nice out, all the dumbest fucking people were like, "Let's go outside."
All the dumbs.
All the dum-dums were just like, "Let's go outside. There's nothing going on. There's no reason for this." And I saw a TikTok. Yes, I watched TikTok. Fight me over it. Where this kid went. It was in New York City. He was screaming at people because the parks were packed. He was like, "This isn't social distancing."
I literally just got back inside from a work call, and there's like 10 people outside right now walking around with their children or getting in with their groceries. No masks, no gloves, just hanging out. And I can't wait for their apartments to be on fire or flooding, and I tell them to go fuck themselves, and I hope that they survive but drown.
Wait.
So they drown, but they're rescued, so they survive. But
Okay.
the initial trauma scars
They
them
deal
forever.
with the stress of it.
Yeah, they're scarred forever though. There's PTSD forever. They even hear drips of water, they stop the cream.
Yeah.
Pissing.
And then we have protests for people to go back to work, but it's not I want to go back to work. It's hey, let my hairdresser go back to work. Let people go back to work so that I can get stuff.
Yep.
Genius.
Makes sense. Makes tons of sense, you know. Hey,
Didn't like Michigan get like held up at gunpoint, like the like city hall for like I don't remember what city it was, but it someplace in Michigan.
And it's so funny because
Let's say
you got people getting upset because for people protesting other things, but now those same people are protesting the fact that we're trying to not kill people.
hypocrisy.
I have the right. I have the right to go outside and kill people. I don't have any. I'm not sick. I have the right to go outside and sneeze on somebody. Mind you, they're all protesting with masks on.
With masks on, yeah.
Could I share with you something that's very dark, but
I thought you were going to ask me if you could shave me.
Well, no. I mean, there's still social distancing involved, so I can't shave you. Maybe post quarantine. But can I share with you something that's very dark, but has been the light of my life lately?
Sure.
Go for it.
It is threads where people are using social media to protest why COVID-19 is not legitimate and it's all a bullshit lie. And then the following post is their obituary. It's fucked up, but it makes me smile.
Fucking Darwinism at its finest.
But I hate to say it, man. It makes me smile. It really does. It's wrong. But I'm not stopping.
Here at A Bit of Everything, we don't wish death on anyone. But if you're fucking dumb, if you walk on a train track with a train coming, thinking that you can outrun a fucking locomotive, and you get plowed in the face and become just a mush on the front of that train, hey man, it is what it is. I hope you didn't feel anything.
Here at A Bit of Everything, we love everyone, but we also equally opportune to step on your throat at any moment we possibly can.
Fucking did you the fucking I'm gonna try to be somewhat, PC on here, PG, whatever you want to call it. The lady
I think we're past that.
Put together the protest for Minnesota. Like she organized that protest, tested positive for coronavirus.
Oops.
Like
It's a beautiful thing.
Like
looks like she just picked a big old bouquet of oopsie daisies. Don't laugh at me. I stole that joke.
That's really good, though. I never heard it before. It's really good.
Still good. Hey, if we didn't hear it, it came from you.
Uh-oh, that's the problem.
First time hearing
Take it up, my lawyer.
It's all yours. Hey, man, if this was like the 1950s...
Seth MacFarlane.
Huh?
If this was the 1950s and there's no internet and you lived on the West Coast and that joke originated on the East Coast, hey, man, it's your joke now.
I'd rip off the bottom of a cigarette carton and put the whole thing in my mouth like a harmonica.
If you can see the face that I'm making right now, it's terrible. I'm very confused by that
I'm
statement.
so glad I don't have to look at it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. You still got a good half hour, 45 minutes of just the stupidity of us.
I hope you guys are buckled in because there's going to be another 5 hours of this. So get your listening ears ready.
So,
No, absolutely not.
other than that, how are you guys doing with this whole situation? How are you guys mentally doing?
I hate
Frank,
it.
why don't you go?
I hate it. I don't enjoy it at all. I mean, with me working in this maintenance field, my day-to-day has become back to my usual work nonsense. It's just inhibited by having something attached to my face 24/7.
Okay.
And having to try to communicate with people who don't understand. I was just saying to you guys before why stuffing your fridge to the brim won't allow it to cool effectively while wearing a mask. I have to talk like this and explain to them, well, if you just took out your broccoli a little bit and then you moved the cauliflower, and if you didn't have 25,000 frozen pizzas in your freezer, maybe you wouldn't have a problem. So, I mean, it sucks. It's annoying because I already have a hard time breathing, and then strapping a mask to my face 24/7 is really irritating. But I think I'm handling the stress pretty well, given the state that it takes one semi-normal human that's actually sick that could kill me.
Yeah, friggin' me and Jill went to get Chipotle. I forgot when it was. It was a couple days ago. And you can order to pick up, and it was just I've never been around such stupidity in my entire life. And it wasn't even the people going to pick up Chipotle. It was Chipotle. And how I walk in there with a mask on my face, and the guy's like, name, and I give him my name, and then he's like, he gives me this look like I'm an asshole and he can't understand me, as I'm yelling through a cloth over my face. It's just stupidity on top of stupidity.
Frank, don't play guitar during our podcast, dude. Can't hear you.
What?
Don't
You
play
can't.
guitar.
You don't know that. You have no idea. You have no idea if I'm playing guitar or not. I mean, why would you assume such a thing?
Because when you stop talking, your phone picks up the next best volume, and that's your guitar.
Right. What? That's insane, bro.
I've been so I'm in a weird place where I feel like, well, I always feel guilty, right? So there's that.
Guilty.
Just a general guilt. But right now there's a guilt of well, everybody I know is generally speaking okay, so I'm happy for that and grateful for that. And then also there's people that are dealing with this in a lot more of a difficult way, But on the superficial side of things, I've been playing a lot of video games,
Awesome.
Hanging out at home. So I can't say that I hate that, and I personally am generally healthy, so I'm not worried for myself, but I am worried for my parents, obviously.
Yeah.
So me and my sister pretty much have just stuck going out to necessary groceries, maybe once every week and a half or so. But getting by. Just lots of video games, man. Finished Final Fantasy VII. Love
It was
it.
awesome. How'd you like it?
All right, so no spoilers. I won't say anything about. I won't say anything about the game's like story and details, but I will say I loved the whole thing when I was playing through it. Right, like there wasn't a moment where I was like, "Oh, this kind of sucks." When I got to the end, I was like, well, there was stuff leading up to the end that I was like, I'm not sure that I like that. When I got to the end, I really didn't like what happened. But then once I was done with it, I processed it a little bit. I thought about it, and I thought it was a really cool thing that they did. So currently, I'm okay with it, and I'm playing all the endgame stuff.
Out of 10?
Out of 10? I'd say 8.5.
Nice.
8.5. The thing is, if you guys saw Video Game Donkey, his new video on Final Fantasy VII, he said in the original, you grind through the fighting to get to the story because the story is great. In this one, you grind through the story to get to the fighting, because the fighting in this is just so fun. Like the bosses are fun. They're really cool. I'm always excited whenever anything like walks out and tries to fight me. So I'm all about that. Yeah, exactly.
Come get these things.
The new system, they somehow managed to keep that turn-based feeling, except everything is action-packed and right now. So I love that. I'm playing through it a second time right now.
Awesome.
I did all the endgame stuff. I got all the secret boss fights and everything. So
secret.
Every time you say endgame stuff, I just think of the movie, and I'm like, wait, what? What endgame stuff?
Oh yeah,
There's
we can't say endgame
game?
anymore without having to pay Disney.
Fuck, we're already in the hole.
Well, tomorrow being the 4th of May, which is apparently a Star Wars day, it's stupid to me.
Yeah, may the 4th be with you.
Ooh, wow. Nerds.
May 4th. May the 4th.
Fucking nerds. No, but they're finally going to fucking release the last Star Wars movie on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, why the fuck? Hey, Disney.
Have all the movies.
Disney, do me a favor. Stop being greedy motherfuckers. And why didn't you do this shit about a month ago when the quarantine started? They
would never.
Greedy motherfuckers.
Because they know something, Doug. They know more than they're letting on, bro. It's all a giant conspiracy. Then I'm just in the body Ventura, and the government's trying to kill you.
Well, I'm about to eat my neighbors, so.
They're,
Yeah.
I would eat my neighbors.
I'll
eat their ass.
It pushed me to the point that I'm thinking about eating their ass.
I'll eat your ass. I'll eat your ass. I'll eat their ass. I'll eat all the ass.
He needs to stop, like... We're not going to say who said that, so we won't get in trouble, but he needs to stop thinking of eating people's asses.
Flalix Cones needs to chill out, bro.
I'm pretty sure.
Phallic Cones needs to chill the fuck
just
out.
dick cones, bro. Dick cones.
You were saying, Sammy? I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure he's just like a character.
He's the best.
Like, I don't think he thinks any of that, and I think he knows it's funny.
Well, he came out and said that he's a little retarded.
Yeah, I know. And
retarded.
that in and of itself is like a little funny. Like, genuinely, not like, haha, laugh at. You know what I mean? So, like, I think it's just a character that he, like, puts on.
When somebody says that, you're just like, yeah, we know. Good for you.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
He's the type of person that he ties his shoes in the morning, and you're like, oh, you tied your shoes today. Good for you. Good for you. But yeah, so, got quarantine going on. We're staying home. We're all getting fat, long-haired. Frank, have you tried cutting your own hair yet?
No, my hair is as long as it's been in a very long time, and my body must have known that this is the time to shine. My beard's starting to connect in all places.
Wow.
I'm really
The,
proud.
the planet is healing.
The planet is healing. My pubic facial hair is returning to nature.
Nature's healing.
Nature's
Oh my
healing,
God.
bro. Next is Loch Ness. Speaking of nature, bro,
What?
Pentagon confirms aliens,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
And
like,
I
how
don't
could-
give a fuck.
I don't know how they could do that, and still my reaction is just like,
yeah.
like I don't know what the condition of myself and the world is for the government to confirm. Oh yeah, there's 100% like stuff that we don't know what it is. Nobody's saying aliens, but we're totally implying aliens. And here it is. Enjoy. Here's the actual footage. And for me to just be like, all right, whatever.
Right? Do you ever,
Like that's kind of my whole thing.
did you guys see the meme of Tom and Jerry where
Oh, yeah.
Tom has a sword and it's like Jerry's standing there all like nonchalant and fucking Tom has a sword and it says like aliens invading and us and we're just like getting poked by the sword,
Yeah.
just like, what's up,
Yeah,
man?
no fucks.
Like, what else you got
Oh,
for us
that's
this
sad.
year? Like, it doesn't matter at this fucking point. But like, if you honestly like, if that was when that was released, if you honestly sat back and went, "Oh my God, there's aliens," you have to be the dumbest human being on the. You were out protesting the fucking coronavirus because, like, if you
Like,
honestly think
There's just such a general distrust in general, like for anything that the government does. Like I don't even, like I didn't even look at that footage as like, oh, cool, like alien footage. I looked at it like, what are you trying to get me to not look at right now?
Mhm.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Jill says that stuff all the time. You know, when Donald Trump was elected president, she was like, "What are they hiding?" Because there's no way they would let this dumb orange bitch be president and not hide something. They're doing the whole look over here, and then they slap you with the other hand. It's like, what are you doing? What are you hiding?
Sad
Well,
but
just a
true.
it's just a big ruse because our Lord and Savior Donald Trump is actually
A reptile
saving the planet. Look, he fixed the gun violence problem.
by making more shootings.
We have had zero
Listen,
school shootings.
Listen, you know the best way.
May I
Listen,
say.
I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest at fixing things. Listen to me. The best thing that we could do right now to fix the gun problems: more guns, more shootings. It's greatest. I have the
Maybe
most
it'll get
shootings.
fixed immediately. Maybe it won't.
I have the best
Here's
shootings
the
ever.
thing. The only thing that has been positive from all of this is that we have a leader, and I use that term very loosely,
Mhm.
that is so ridiculous that they've made someone like myself who completely hates politics. I have had an understanding of the world for the last 3 or 4 years because it's so out in the
Necessary.
open. Yeah, like it's so everywhere. Like before, it used to be like, oh, you heard like your aunt and your uncle talking about it over the dinner table and shit like that Thanksgiving. Now it's so in your face that I mean, like it's crazy. I know about the whistleblower from China who was erased, essentially arrested
Yeah.
the second he started to talk about how COVID-19 was around for months beforehand. You know, I know all these things that normally I wouldn't give a shit about. You know, like the Kim Jong-un, dead, maybe not dead, maybe alive, making that Bernie's, we don't know. Like these are things that I would never know nor care about that are just like are things that I understand enough to have conversation about, and I never had that before. I never cared about it, not because I'm getting older. It's just again, it's so in our faces that you almost have to have an idea about it.
See, but now we're at the point where.
Sister puts.
God, sorry.
Go ahead, bud.
You go ahead.
No, you go ahead, bud.
It's gonna be stupid.
It's at the
I was
point.
gonna say.
You motherfucker.
You go ahead, bud.
It's at the point now that we are at an election, right, where we're going to need to decide to vote between an old, sexist, mentally challenged, guy that likes to feel up women and be super inappropriate and repeat what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
And you know people are going to vote for one of them because they don't like the other. Or because I'm a Republican and I will only vote Republican. Or I'm a Democrat and I will only vote Democrat. And I hate
No blue, no
Republicans.
matter who. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it since we're all kind of politically savvy, but it's funny when you look at a historical chart how every time there's a major election coming back up, there's some kind of weird new sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Swine flu, bird flu, SARS, COVID-19.
T-virus.
T-virus is next. Tyrants being tyrants. But
I'm not escorting Ashley around.
Fuck that bitch.
I don't care who the president is.
I wonder when they, because that's coming out next year. That they said that they've added a couple of fan polls to see if they want.
What's coming out next year? Hold on. What's coming out
4?
next year?
The remake of Resident Evil 4.
Oh, Jesus
Remaking
Christ.
or re-releasing again?
No, like the same thing for 2 and 3. They're doing for 4.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
Didn't they
like
just
money,
release
huh?
it like last year again? Like, how many ports does it have?
I mean, it's had since N64 since
It's like
GameCube.
64.
Yeah, that classic right next to GoldenEye, Resident Evil 4. It's had GameCube, PS2, PS3, Wii. Yeah, I think that's it, right? It might have been on PS4 as well, like collection, but it's never ending. But I guess they've had plans to do major releases of all of them, except for like 5 and 6. But why?
Why?
I don't need that again. I don't. It was a beautiful game.
Give us 8.
Yeah.
Give us 8 that's 100% going to be set in China.
Let me take that with the statement. I believe Resident Evil 8 is next year, and then Resident Evil 4 remake is the year after.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think that's the timeline as of right now. RE8 has been in production, I think, since Resident Evil 7 because it did so well upon launch. I mean, even the demo was received incredibly well from that E3 night. So Resident Evil 8 is scheduled for sometime next year. Okay. I'm not sure if that will hold true because of all this nonsense. Mm-hmm. And the year after that is Resident Evil 4 remake. And I'm scared because, they've been faithful each time. 3 was really good, but it cut out a lot of key components that made 3 special. It was still a very fun game. But, a lot of the major events that made Resident Evil 3 feel like big city in comparison to 2 was completely taken away. And with 4, there's so much in that game that
Well, 4 shaped what the remakes are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So my concern is, what are they going to do to make 4 special? Like as a remake? Because it's the most likely to be a 1-for-1. So they're really going to have to do like something extra in there to like make it exciting, because otherwise it's just going to be improved graphics.
Which we don't need. We had that with the HD release, essentially.
Yeah.
It was smoother. It wasn't like night and day, but yeah, I mean that's what I was saying before. They've taken some fan polls on if they want Ashley to make a return, if they want to make that not part of the story anymore, which then what's he doing in fucking Spain?
Fan polls, that's not a good idea.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how we got to a lot of 2 and 3, kind of with that a little bit. And it worked out pretty well. I mean, 2 was amazing, absolutely phenomenal. 3 was a really good experience. So, I mean, as long as they're not declining, like I said, with what they gave us for 3, it was a really clear-cut, cohesive experience. And then Resistance has got potential. I don't know if it's going to have longevity, but overall, it's a very fun idea.
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote.
It's funny because this first episode, which, like I said, it's not the first, but it will be aired as the first. You get a good feel. This is why it's a good first episode. You get a good feel for what this podcast is all about. We literally talked
a little
about
bit of everything.
a bit of everything. Can you believe it? You know
What
what?
a fucking title.
There's a YouTube channel. I forgot what it's called.
Bitboys.com?
Yes, youtube.com/withboys. But they do this agree disagree series, and let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. They take two different sides of all these different topics. I've watched left wing versus right wing, but it's England based, so like I couldn't really associate with what they were saying. But I've seen DC Comics versus Marvel Comics. I've seen scientists versus flat earthers, and it's super interesting. I'm trying to pull it up so I could give the actual YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is LAD Bible. And they do
Glad Bible.
They do a little bit of like that stuff. And the one that I found super interesting was Marvel versus DC. I'm a huge DC fan. And a lot of the conversations they were having, they were very non-specific, and the conversation had a lot to do with like, you know, who could Batman beat anybody, who has the better supervillains and stuff like that. And I always noticed that the Marvel guy kept jumping to the movies, whereas the DC guy was trying to stick to the comics. And it's like I was sitting there making me laugh because they would ask like, who has the better villains, and all of a sudden the Marvel guy would be like, well, Spider-Man's rogue gallery is better than Batman's, and I wanted to just be like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But like, I'm not saying Spider-Man's rogue gallery is bad, but if you're going to compare him to Batman's, which was established and it's just the greatest. It is what it is.
Isn't that like the Rose Gallery?
Yeah, exactly. That's where the name came from. It was from Batman's Rogues Gallery. And then there was another thing where the guy said, Frank's going to laugh when I say this because I've been part of this debate for a very long time, that who would win in a fight, Batman versus Iron Man. It just, they kept going to the movies. And I'm like, stop going to the movies. There's so much more data and like history in the comics than Marvel's movies, which has only been for the past 11 years.
Yeah.
But what would you? So we'll talk a little comics. Who would you guys think would win in a fight, Iron Man or Batman?
Are we going based off their backgrounds? Or are we just going off like a shot for shot?
Like Batman and Iron Man. No, all right. I'll give you a backstory. I'll give you a little backstory, right? Batman and Iron Man know of each other, right? Gotham City, New York City, technically the same place, but let's say it's two different cities in the world. They know of each other. They know Batman knows, you know, Tony Stark is Iron Man because he's a cocky son of a bitch and told everyone from jump, hey, I'm Iron Man. Tony Stark knows Bruce Wayne is Batman just because he has the technology, he has all that shit. They meet up because one thinks what the other's wrong. Who wins in a fight?
All right. So we have the classic argument of Batman always knows his enemy. And I believe my field of knowledge on bats is a smidge less than Marvel. But please, Doug, help me out on this. I feel like Iron Man has gone up against a couple of bigger dudes. I don't know if Bat's ever squared off one-on-one with like Doomsday and stuff like that.
He has.
He has?
Yes.
Okay. So then I'm going to give my vote to Batman. I really am.
Sammy, what do you think?
I want to be a little more delicate with this subject because Batman would win has
Batman
kind of become like the... No. It's become like... Oh, like Batman with prep time has become like the... Oh, you can't beat Goku. Right? Like, I can't beat Goku. You know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody's like easy answer. And the thing is, they're both smart. Batman is an actual detective, while Iron Man is one of the smartest men in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that like wit is the thing to take into account. The technology itself, his standard Iron Man standard suit seems to have more to it, whereas Batman has more skill as far as martial arts is concerned.
Yeah.
But I don't know that helps if you're punching solid iron. But that being said, he's super strong for a regular dude.
Yep.
So I'm going to give it to they both fight for a while and then nobody wins, because that's how it goes, because they're both good guys. Something stops them.
Of course.
And then they have to go fight a bad guy.
Of course.
Doug, did you hear that? It sounded like Sam was opening a fucking bag of white bread.
I will say
fucking generic ass fucking middle fucking Fed right.
Yeah, well, it's Wonder Bread.
Right
It
in the
ain't
fence.
Everybody likes Wonder Bread.
Yeah, you're still giving people cancer with your fucking chemicals.
So I will say this, being that I am super knowledgeable of Batman and I have a good understanding of Iron Man. In that scenario, in my mind, now I love Batman, so obviously I'm going to think that Batman is going to win. But in that scenario, so say like, I'm actually going to say no prep time for Batman. Say like he's heard of Iron Man, he knows of Tony Stark, he knows that this dude, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying no prep time. First time bumping into each other. You know, Iron Man is in the mock whatever suit you want to fucking call it. Batman's in his Batman suit. They show up to each other. Somebody just subscribed to my channel and it popped up here. I just got a new subscriber and it popped up here. Hilarious. And so they just meet up for the first time. I honestly think that because I was watching Winter Soldier. No, not Winter Soldier, Civil War. And that when Iron Man and Captain America were fighting, and Friday said to Tony Stark, "You can't beat him in hand-to-hand combat." So then Tony Stark used his technology to study Captain America's movements and then started fighting back finally. It made me laugh because I said to myself, because Jill was like, "Oh, wow, look at that shit." I said, "You do that shit on Batman, he's just going to pick one of the other 500 fighting styles he knows and he's going to beat your fucking ass." And she started laughing. She goes, "Oh, yeah." I said, "That's the thing people don't understand about Batman. He doesn't know one fighting style. He knows every single fighting style."
Yeah.
Like, he knows. When he disappeared, he went and learned every fighting style he could possibly learn. That's one. The other thing is he has these little fucking tech things in his belt. He could just throw it on Iron Man's suit, shut that bitch down. You take Batman out of his
but do you really think Iron Man doesn't have protocols for that? Like, doesn't have backups for something like that?
Of course, but did you see how Tony's Captain America took his shield, smashed his friggin' the core in his chest, and he was done. But my whole point
now he has
is,
the nano suit and stuff like that.
Yeah, they all have their pluses and their minuses. My whole point with this whole fighting between the two is there's always that, you know, who is Iron Man? And he always, you know, the playboy, whatever it's called, millionaire, blah, 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 in a suit. Yes, he knows how to fight, but he's in a suit. Batman is Batman. You take Batman out of his bulletproof, like leather, like composite suit, he's still Batman. Like, so you take Iron Man out of his suit, you got Tony Stark that might know how to fight you because he took boxing or he took martial arts. But you take Batman out of his suit and you got Batman. Bruce Wayne is the disguise. Batman is Batman. So that's why whenever that conversation comes up, I'm always like, you get Tony out of his suit, he's fucked. You get Batman out of his suit, he's actually more cautious because he can't take a shot to the chest or a knife stab because he doesn't have his Kevlar on.
Yeah. I think what's underlooked though is Iron Man's not protected from his. So here's the thing. Iron Man is very adaptable. Tony Stark made the suit in a cave and figured out how to escape just with like really crappy stuff. So let's say he doesn't have let's say he doesn't have the suit. I think what a huge strength that he'll have is figuring out another way out of the situation. I think, oh, well, I'm done is never really an option for him. So I think that the strength isn't really, oh, like he's just a suit. He made the suit, and he makes ways out of these difficult situations and figures out how to adapt. Yeah. It's like, I think the idea is like, because that's what people are good at, right? People are good at adapting our environments to us, right? So he's like that peak of that.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like write off that like, oh, like Iron Man's the suit, and if he doesn't have that, he's fucked. I think if he doesn't have that, he'll get something else.
Well, let me ask you this. I stick by my vote for Bats if he has preparation time, or if they even know each other. But do you think his golden rule would be his undoing? Would Iron Man be able to pull the trigger if he knew his life was in danger, as opposed to Bruce, who would, swore he never would kill?
If he had to, he would. But like Sammy said, it would probably, if it was written in the comics and it wasn't a real world thing, something would happen. One of them would be on top of the other and essentially making them the winner, just like in The Dark Knight, how he beat Superman. Batman beat Superman in his mech suit because of Superman's one weakness, which was his love for humanity. He beat him. He was on top of him. Superman's a bloody pulp. Did he kill him? No, but he beat him. It is what it is. That's probably what would happen here, whereas one of them would be on top of the other. But if I had to say who would kill the other, as much as Batman has his code, he has killed someone before. And he has been driven in different universes to become darker. Like that whole, I think it's called Black Metal or Dark Metal. That whole series with the different Batman is, if you haven't read that, you guys got to read that. It is the Batman who laughs and like, oh my God, it's so good. And how something could push Batman to the point that he needs to, like with Superman and the whole Mortal Kombat fighting thing, where these heroes will get pushed to a point where they'll break. And Tony Stark, I don't remember him ever getting pushed to that point where he's killed, because even in Civil War, the comic, he got pushed to a point, but he didn't get pushed to a point where he would kill. Because when the Thor, spoilers for people, when the cremated Thor, or the clone Thor, killed Giant Man, even Tony Stark was like, holy shit, what did I do? Like, he's always kind of had like a step back.
This is the hard part. If we're gonna talk like different comic series, we know that Batman has mech suit. Tony has the coat buster, but Tony also has Superior Iron Man has like a suit that's called like the God Killer, or like God Armor. So it's like when you really sit down and think about it, like let's talk realistic. Let's go Detective Comics Batman and the blue and gray and red and yellow Iron Man. Iron Man wins because he's actually got armor. But like nowadays, it's like a fucking stalemate because there's so 100%. Much. Because for real, and you don't think Batman would have like some like weird detector that would call upon like weird Metalocalypse fucking Batman, who's like Darkseid and Batman together.
Well, that's how he beat Darkseid. He has a Darkseid.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Where he wore a special suit to beat Darkseid. So like
that's crazy. That's what I mean.
And that's where like the stalemate, right? Like Iron Man has his suits, Batman has his suits. They would essentially have a stalemate, and that's where I give it to Batman, only because you take them both out of these crazy suits, and you have Bruce Wayne fighting Tony Stark. Bruce Wayne's going to win because you take Batman out of Batman, he's Batman. You take Tony Stark out of his suits, he's Tony Stark that knows how to fight.
Very true.
But yeah, it's a conversation that there is no definite answer. There is no winner. It's more of who you're a fan of. That's why, like, a lot of people will say, like, you know, what's the better comic book series, Marvel or DC? And for a long time, it was DC. DC was killing it in the comic book series, and as of late, DC has just been completely sucking wind in the comic book series, and Marvel's starting to catch up. And then with the movie series, DC was killing it. 1989 Batman, you know, the Superman movie,
Oh my God,
the Dark
yeah.
Knight trilogy was killing. Marvel had that Fantastic Four horrible movie. Yes, they had the Spider-Man 1 and 2, but then the third one was garbage, and you know, Blade was still pretty, but not compared to DC. Now all of a sudden, it's flipped on its head. So it's like it's all preference. It's just a nice conversation I always have. But yeah,
there is some objectivity to it, though.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
And there's always going to be some bias in play. I mean, and that's the problem with what is it, like 40 years of comics, 30 years of comics? How long they've been around for?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many iterations and so many storylines and one-offs that in the end, like, why fight about it? Just agree that they're all fucking awesome.
Exactly.
Dude, but for real.
It's funny too because, like, in comics,
but my favorite's more awesome than yours. Shut up.
In comics, it's like anything could happen. Anything could happen. Like, let's say I wanted Batman to win, right? I wanted Batman to beat Iron Man. I could write that, you know, Batman got his ass beat by Iron Man first round. He goes, talks to Superman in the Fortress of Solitude, tells Superman, look, I need to take care of this situation. Can you help me? Superman gives him the serum that he gave Lois Lane to have his superpowers for 24 hours. Batman now has Superman's superpowers, beats the shit out of Iron Man, he wins. Like, you could write any way you want to write it. Like,
100%.
That's
the truth, though.
It's who you like. That's all it all cracks down to be.
But on some real shit, though, that Batman, Metal Batman shit Jesus. Was some of the coolest art, and the Bat Who Laughs is one of the fucking creepiest, coolest characters. He's not even like Joker and Batman put together. He's more like fucking Batman and Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome, dude. I love it.
Sammy, if you don't know about it, essentially, this isn't going to ruin it for you. It's just a synopsis. There's different universes where Batman loses something or something happens, and Batman essentially feels he needs to do more to save the world. And in each of those universes, he gets pushed to the point of killing one of the Justice League members and taking their powers. So there is an Aquaman Batman, there's a Green Lantern Batman, there's a Flash Batman, there's a Doomsday Batman, there is
so cool.
a Batman Who Laughs where he gets infected and he kills the entire Bat family, and he has like little Robin like pets around. Like, dude, it's a great
little Robin
great
zombies.
Yeah, essentially.
But yeah, if you haven't read that, it's a great series. Like, it's really, really,
it really
good.
is.
And they all these Batman come to Earth 1, and the Justice League are like, what the and they're essentially their counterparts face the Flash goes up against, I forgot what the Flash is,
Flashman?
the Batman Flash is named, but they all go up against their counterparts, and they're all like, what the hell is that? It's really cool. Really cool read. But yeah.
Yeah, it is really cool.
So yeah, in this first episode, we talked about the pandemic.
All that good shit.
Talked about presidential stuff. We talked about mental health. Did we talk about mental health? I don't think we talked about mental health.
Take care of yourself. It's important.
Go get some.
Wash your ass.
Talk about it. Don't make it weird. Watch your ass.
We talked about video games. Ended it with comic books. Maybe next episode we'll discuss movies a little bit more. Follow us. I'm gonna put this. This is gonna be
here's movies. You can now rent Sonic the Hedgehog.
And I'm gonna. I really want to see it.
Oh, we did, because I talked about Star Wars and how it took them forever to release the newest movie.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
We talked about a bit of everything.
If you're doing it, stop it.
If you haven't followed us on all these podcast sites, start doing it. And yes, we do.
Bitch.
We do expect people to get upset with some of our opinions. But
We
again,
also do expect.
that's our opinion,
Yeah.
especially when it
Thousands
came to what we were saying politically. We wholeheartedly expect people to be like, "I'm not listening to this anymore. You talked about my Lord and Savior Donald Trump like that." So.
And that's totally fine. That's legit. And if you don't listen to us after point,
you're just a bitch.
that is the appropriate course of action.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
You have your right to
here's
an
the thing
opinion.
that might be upsetting to everyone. The thing I wanted to say earlier, but it was stupid, so I didn't. But now I'm going to because I'm stupid.
Yay!
Kim Jong-un's sister puts the cute in execute all the villagers.
Where's the hang up button? What do I press? What do I press and call?
It's usually red.
Where's red? Okay. Was it the one that was the giant red X?
On that note, we hope you guys go check us out at youtube.com/bitboys. Be sure to subscribe over there. We don't have a ton of content coming out right now, but about twice a week we're putting out some content. Go over, check it out, and follow us. I don't know where this is up on. Of us recording this right now, I still
Follow
have to
us
work
everywhere.
on the art,
Yeah,
the
fucking
intro
everywhere, bro.
music, wherever you can find us. Follow us, and you'll get more episodes. You got.
You know what? We'll just follow you.
Yeah, we'll follow you. We'll come home.
We will follow you when you're going home and you think you're alone and we're behind the bushes. And when you're taking a shower and you think that you heard something, you did. It was us. And when you're going to get a midnight snack and your fridge is half open already, it was us.
Yep, I was
We're eating your.
checking the back of the back of the closet.
It was us. Yeah, we're there.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Bit of Everything. The next episode is going to probably come out next week, whenever the next week of this one. Again, I don't know when this one's coming out. Hey, we're super transparent here at A Bit of Everything. But we hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
Catch you next time.
That's it.
Wait. No, don't do it yet.
That's it.
Yeah, motherfucker.
That's it.